Hello everyone, and thanks for actually coming back and watching me. It's been a pretty crazy few weeks being on YouTube. I actually decided to make a part 2 of my coming out story, mostly because I feel like I skimmed over very important parts. That being said, if you actually haven't watched my first video, I highly suggest it. It will be linked down below. I think what I really skimmed over was my mother. I talked about it only very briefly in that, but I didn't really go into detail of it. So, let's do it. I've known that I wanted to tell my mother for years. So like flashback to 8th grade, right? I'm really early in coming out, so a few of my friends know, but mostly just really close friends. I haven't really branched out to, especially not my family. I knew I wanted to tell my mother, and it's actually weird though, because I remember the day before, I kind of just knew the inevitable was coming, that for some reason, for some way, she was going to find out tomorrow. Whether, I don't know, it had just been a sixth sense or so. I just remember that, like, I knew it was coming. I knew that it was happening. So anyways, that night, I remember just crying on my, like, bathtub, right? So we had, so I literally was just crying for, like, hours. My mom was like, what's wrong with you, you know? She was, like, crazily concerned, and I remember I just didn't sleep that night. Now the next morning though, for like whatever reason, my mom actually had my phone. I'm not really 100% sure now. It might have been something stupid, like she took my phone for, you know, not only dishwasher, but regardless, she had my phone. And, or I mean, like, she just could have been worried because I was crying all of the night before. I'm sitting there, this is like early in the morning before she like goes out to work, and she's like looking through my phone, right? And she actually finds a text message where I am like talking to a homophobe and telling him, I don't even remember what I was arguing. I honestly don't even remember what I was arguing about. Well, it was probably like if it's like a choice or not, right? I remember my mom's like, what's this? And instantly I just like started bawling. Like, I was just crying like crazy. I was like inconsolable. And it's kind of hard to say what her reaction was. Because she was like on her way to work, right? And she like sits me down, right? And she's like, you know, Ty always knew, I still love you. All that. I'm pretty, like, she made sure that, like, she made it known that it was probably a phase. So that was kind of like where it started to, I don't know, go downhill. She left me like this crying mess to have to go to work. And then like literally 20 minutes later, I got into the shower. I was just like crying in the shower, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know what, I was literally just like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I'll wash everything that just happened away from me. And she texted me and she was like, I'm gonna come back home. And so she came back home, and I don't really remember us talking about it. Like, I'm pretty sure I just went to my room. I was just in my room all day long. Stepped down, found out, and then it kind of just branched after that. My mom started telling her friends, like, you know, what do I do? I got a text message. My mom's like, you know, what do I do? I have a gay son. Never had experienced this. Has anyone ever experienced this? There was like this time of just like, we really didn't ever talk about it. And like, I feel like this went on for like weeks. And I remember this one conversation I had with her not too long after I actually came out to her, where it was like, what's wrong with, like, literally quoting her, so what's wrong with girls? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was in a very pejorative, kind of like degrading way of like, why did you kind of do this to me? Kind of, you know what I'm saying? I just remember being so upset that I literally went to my room and I was just like crying for hours. Like, I was crying for so long. Because I don't know, because like, I wanted to tell my mom, but like I said, the words were never there, and basically I was outed. And so it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't like the situation I wanted to be in. Inevitably, she wanted to keep it a secret. She didn't really want me to progress with telling people. I think in the end though, it was more of she was afraid for me. So like, I mean, like, who's like mom wouldn't be afraid that they're gonna get, like, their kid's gonna like beat up, you know? So this went on for like many years. It wasn't just kind of like, oh, I don't get it. It was like systemic, like, I really just don't understand. And I think it was on, because my stepdad, ironically, was like a lot more open to it. Slowly started to convince her that maybe your son's normal, and maybe this is like society. Over time, she definitely made like really positive strides. she let me start having guys over, and she kind of treated it normal. And I mean, when it came down to it, she would always, no matter what stage of it, like what stage of her knowing, whether or not it was the next day or 2 years after, defend me to both her friends and family. Okay, so now her and I relationship is so different, because I feel like in the end she was more like, you are my son, I love you, or I don't care whatever happens to you, I just want to make you aware that you're the sole purpose of my life. And I think that she, like, I feel like we both grew out of it. In the end, I think we're both better people. So that was my coming out to my parents. What about your coming out to your parents? Please leave a comment down below. And I love this discussion we're having on the first coming out story, and I would love to see an even bigger conversation on this one. So also, I want to say thank you for getting me to 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers in 2 weeks. I am so thankful. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And I will see you guys all next week.